what I can do is basically put it in the oven and heat it up until it kind of like softens up, and then you guys can pull it out. It makes it easier. So that's one. And remember, that's only for oil-based clay. Now the second technique is the one that I'm doing right now, which is basically hammering, using the hammer and hammering the chisels in a certain angle, and you're gonna do that like right where the line between the clay and the plaster mold, as you can see right there. And once it's like in a 45-degree angle, you're actually gonna apply pressure going that way. So this will actually pry it off. So yeah. And once again, if you guys do this, make sure you guys do it at the top and at the two sides to ensure perfect demolding. Now the other part, which is a bit it's a bit more it will require some leg strength and some muscle, and I'm gonna show you guys right now. Hold on. Alright guys, this is the third and last demolding technique that you guys can use. Now this doesn't really work, but it sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't, so it's like a 50-50 kind of thing. Now what you guys can do if you guys decide to do this kind of technique is, what you guys need to do is take like a sponge or like a cloth or paper towel and wipe off the Vaseline. Now as you guys can see, what I'm about to do is something that requires strength, and positioning. This is probably one of the most stupidest ways to demold a mold, but it actually works. It actually works. So what you guys can do is put your 2 feet like that, right where the mold ends, like right here. And this is the part where you guys apply some strength. You're gonna use your 2 hands, and obviously I can't use 2 of my hands because I'm holding the camera. You're gonna use 2 of your hands, and you're gonna pull it. You're gonna pull your clay sculpture and your armature towards you, and it should split the clay sculpture and the mold apart. And remember, you guys gotta push down the plaster mold itself using your 2 legs. So you should do that. And as you can see, I already tried this, so it didn't work. And as you can see, it's not oil-based clay, so it's modeling clay. So I can't put it in the oven. So my only option is to use the prying technique that I taught you guys. So yeah, that's pretty much how you demold a 2-part mold. So yeah, if you guys are doing a half mask mold, it's not that hard. You guys can pry it off. You guys can use the leg technique I'm doing right now, or you guys can stick it in the oven as long as it's oil-based clay. So yeah, that's pretty much it for demolding. Okay guys, once you've demolded your 2-part mold or your half mold mask, it should look like something like this. If you guys don't have any clay stuck between your stuck in the plaster mold itself, then you guys are lucky. Either that or your sculpture wasn't that detailed or something. So right now, what I actually did was technique number 2 actually didn't work, and what technique or demolding technique number 2 was basically using the chisels and applying pressure to it. That didn't work because it was actually putting holes to my my armature head. And what I actually did was I noticed that the areas, like the side areas, like right here, it was actually loose. So it was actually vulnerable to the leg technique. And I also learned just now that don't use sandals, like the sandals what I was wearing. I will actually use my shoes, and it actually worked. It has better grip to your feet, and it will come off. If there's a weak spot, it will come off if you use the leg technique. So yeah, that's demolding. And right now, what you guys need to do is to remove the clay that's embedded in the 2-part or half or the plaster mold itself. So what you guys need to do is, get either a metal tool or a wood tool, it doesn't matter. but I prefer using a metal tool. Alright, and you guys should use something similar to this. You know, it's kind of like a metal toothpick kind of thing. And I'm gonna share some techniques with you guys. Depending which detail or which clay you're trying to take off, like for example, as you can see right here, I can't just scratch it out because it's gonna leave the some parts in, and you don't want that, So what you guys can do is take this, impale it, and once you impale it, slowly lift it up, kind of like that. See that? And what you're actually doing is you're actually digging up the whole entire thing, so you guys don't have to go through the bits and pieces later on. See what I'm doing? And once it's like that, you guys can just pull it off, like that, and just do it over and again, And when it gets to the smaller pieces, like that right there, like those things, just use like a toothpick or something, I don't know, or use like a sharp knife to take it out, or something sharp. And once you guys get out all the clay, what you guys can do is clean this whole thing out if you guys want, but I don't, to me I don't do that. But you guys, if it's too dirty, you guys can clean it out using water and some soap maybe. So yeah, make sure you guys take out the clay. Don't forget to take out the clay. And also, what you guys can do right now also is to take out the clay that was left on the armature. As you guys can see, this is what's left of the scarecrow sculpture after I took out the two-part mold. It's missing some details because obviously they're stuck to the two-part plaster mold. So yeah, we're almost done with mold making. Actually, we are done with mold making. Okay guys, we're on day 10, and we just moved on to main step number 4, which is casting. Now casting is probably one of the most easiest out of all of the steps, maybe because all you have to do is pour in the silicone or the latex in, and that's pretty much it. But that doesn't mean that you guys aren't going to make mistakes. Now, if you guys make a mistake on casting, you're basically going to end up with either a torn up mask, a very, very thin mask, or a very, very thick mask, which is not going to be uncomfortable. If you guys do this right, if you guys pull it out with no rips, no tears and everything, and you just pass the casting step, basically. Now, I'm actually gonna explain to you guys what the whole meaning of the as you can see right here, the registration keys. I'll show that to you guys later. But as of now, you guys gotta think about either pouring silicone or latex in. Now, as for this one, I'm gonna pour silicone in. Now, for latex, it's basically simple. All you have to do is take the latex from the bucket and either pour the whole thing in, or just apply it by using handfuls and putting it everywhere. But when you're applying latex, you're just basically putting these two-part molds together, similar to this one, and you're just basically gonna pour in the latex in the hole. And this is actually a plastic mold, a plaster mold for a plastic mask, so don't mind this. So yeah, it should look like that. So yeah, so latex is basically, you put these two things together, you pour the latex in, then you wait a couple of hours, maybe days, until it dries, and that's basically latex. Now silicone, on the other hand, you guys have to mix a batch of silicone, and also along with some silicone pigments to color in the silicone itself, and that will serve as the base color of your full head or your half head mask. Now when it comes to silicone, you're not gonna pour like a huge batch and then pour it all in. That it doesn't work like that. To me, what I do is I mix maybe a couple batches of